Hi, everyone. This is group 5. My name is Zainab. I have Brad with me, Drayden, and Yuhan. And today we're talking about analyzing external competitive markets. Okay, so Tesla was founded in 2003. They released their first car in 2008. And by April 2017, the company was regarded the most valuable automaker in the US. They produce a large range of innovative electric cars like the S and X model. And right now they are going into making Cybertrucks. Their car is deemed to be one of the safest and quickest electric vehicles on the road. Their mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy.
So in order to gain this mission, they are not only makes all electronic cars, but also produce efficiently scalable clean energy generation and storage products. And they also want to achieve the least possible environmental impacts. So like they have decided to do this, setting up commit to monitoring and improve issues involving stakeholders in products design, communication risks, global in a time manner, and improving and reducing risks by learning from the experience quickly.
So to talk about the EV market a little bit, Tesla has sold more electric vehicles than any other manufacturer. And currently EVs are heavily subsidized by governments. So in the US, that can be up to $7,500 as a tax rebate. And here in Canada, up to $5,000 of a rebate. And sales around the world of EV cars are increasing quite substantially. So currently in the UK, it's at about 6%, but in the rest of the EU, it's coming close to about 10%. And they predict that by 2030, it'll be 30%. Now, the average price of an EV is still substantially higher than the average price of a fuel vehicle. And that's why it's so important that Tesla announced September of last year that they are planning to release an EV at a starting price of $25,000, which will make this accessible to average consumers.
So here's Porsche's 5 forces we want to mention. Like first one is threat of the news entrance, and second one is bargaining powers of buyers and powers of the supplies, threat of the sustainable substitute products or service to the those four to the rival along existing firms.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about how Tesla relates to all of those forces. So first of all, we're going to look at the threat of new entrants into the area of electric vehicles. First of all, there's massive barriers to enter, and that's due to the science and the amount of financial capital that is actually required to get into this space. As well, Tesla, of course, that they're the most valuable automaker in the world. So they've already created this massive brand name. And if a new entrant wanted to enter into this market, they'd have to compete with that brand name. Tesla also has this first mover advantage, and they've been able to secure the best spots in the world in order to recharge their batteries. So if someone else wanted to come into this area, they'd have to compete with Tesla to get different spots, even though Tesla already has these perfect spots. As well, with the new US administration, Biden's made it a priority in order to boost electric cars. And it's fairly easy for one user to switch from one car to another when not looking at EV vehicles. Now we're going to look at the bargaining power of the buyers. This is also known as the bargaining power of customers. So how much power a customer has. Well, like we said earlier, there's not really many other options when it comes to electric vehicles. Tesla already has this massive brand name, and they have the best technology in the field. So there's not really many substitutes that they can compete with. Tesla really doesn't have to worry about any. Pepsi has already ordered 100 of their semi-trucks. So when it comes to distribution and big chains, these don't have much time to argue either. When it comes to the bargaining power of suppliers, this one's a little bit tricky for Tesla because Tesla is so unique. there's not very many suppliers that Tesla can actually use. So if one of their suppliers did run out of materials, Tesla wouldn't be able to make money of their cars. In their most recent 10Q, which is a quarterly financial statement by Tesla, Elon Musk, the CEO, outlined as follows. We are dependent on our suppliers, the majority of which are single source suppliers, and the inability of these suppliers to deliver necessary components of our products in a timely manner at prices, quality levels, and volumes acceptable to us, or our inability to efficiently manage these components from these suppliers could have a material adverse effect on our business, prospects, financial condition, and operating results. All of this mumbo jumbo, what it means is if their suppliers ran out of materials, Tesla could be hooped. When it comes to threats of substitution, like we mentioned earlier, there's not really that many options on the road. So there's not really that much of a threat to substitution. But what else could you consider when in the area of substitution? Could someone take an Uber or a Lyft? Could someone teleport? Is that too far to go? Is that the future? As well, with the global pandemic, a lot of people have switched to working from home. This means that families don't always need 2 cars anymore. Could this be a potential factor for Tesla to consider? As well, when you look at other gasoline power vehicles, if the consumer doesn't want to use a gasoline power vehicle, well, Tesla is the preferred substitute. But as Brad mentioned earlier, Tesla is quite expensive in all electric vehicles until they announced this $25,000 electric vehicle. So this does put them into a better position. When it comes to rivalry among the firms, the more competition there is, the more this will affect Tesla. But right now, like I said, again, there's not much competition with Tesla. Their main competitors are other firms in the space that are trying to get into it. For example, there's a Mini Cooper, there's a Nissan that all have electric vehicles that are under $35,000. This is what Tesla's trying to attract, the average day person. But it's pretty fair to say that all the other electric vehicles, they're actually just trying to compete with each other for the second spot. Tesla doesn't really have much to worry about in their first spot. And then in all auto sales in the whole entire world, electric vehicles still don't make up that much. Gasoline and diesel cars make up a far majority.
So looking at the competitive environment, Tesla's rivals currently, if we look at a strategic group map of automobile manufacturers, where does Tesla fit in that strategic group? So when you look at the companies that have similar characteristics to Tesla, really there are very few. So looking at GM and Ford to start with, they have a wide variety of models, and they focus their efforts on mass producing lower cost vehicles. When you look at the other end of the graph here, Porsche and Ferrari have very few models available, and they sell them at very high prices. So currently Tesla fits closer to this strategic group because they also have very small offering of models, and they are still on the higher end of the price scale. Many models for Tesla are over $100,000. However, when considering the fact that all of their vehicles are fully electric, they have many more electric models than any other manufacturer. And so with this latest announcement, Tesla is proving that they would like to offer even more models at a lower price, which will place the company closer to the middle of this strategic map.
So Tesla's life cycle, Tesla right now, since they're up and coming, they're a perfect example of understanding the growth area of the life. They're still developing, tweaking, and slowly introducing products into the market. They recorded a loss, I think, last quarter, but they're slowly getting back into a profit at the moment. Also, they've been using with the SWOT analysis, they've been minimizing the leverage of buyers by offering customizable automobiles through their production techniques. And within the SWOT analysis as well, Tesla replaces its previous supply chain weaknesses and threats with a strength, automation, and sustainable competitive advantage. They're also expanding their customer base as well as the market at large is the core objective. So they're trying right now, trying to get people to afford the $25,000 vehicle. So the growth stage typically being hugely profitable, expanding and prolonging this stage to a healthy growth, which is their critical objective.
Okay, so for Tesla, what are some alternatives if they cannot produce this vehicle under $25,000? So one of the options we looked at was lobbying governments for more rebates. Now, as mentioned earlier, there's a rebate of up to $7,500 tax rebate on EV vehicles in the United States. Now, unfortunately, that is only for the first 200,000 vehicles sold by a particular brand. And because Tesla's been so popular, they've already used up all of that tax rebate. So now for Tesla customers, there is no rebate. And for other EV customers, there still is a rebate. So this puts Tesla at a competitive disadvantage. Now here in Canada, there is still a rebate of up to $5,000 on EV vehicles. However, that will be going down, and I think we've already used up half of the allocated budget for that rebate already, and so that is definitely on the decline. And the reality is that governments want to encourage the use of electric vehicles. However, that can't go on in perpetuity. So lobbying governments for more rebates is probably not the most practical option, because that's going to be a case of diminishing returns. So the second option is to improve efficiencies and cut production costs. And so when looking at what Tesla's done so far in that area, one of the things they've done is they partnered with Panasonic, and they're producing batteries in-house in order to cut the costs on batteries. They've also made an announcement for a more efficient battery that will be less expensive and less bulky as well. So that will be coming out in the near future. However, that is still a long-term projection and isn't necessarily going to help them in the short term. A third option is to partner with or acquire another manufacturer. Yes, so Tesla is the largest valued automaker in the United States now. And so this puts them at a huge advantage if they were to want to purchase another auto manufacturer. Now, one of the problems with that is that it could dilute their brand. If they are partnered with a company that manufactures fuel or diesel vehicles, that certainly kind of puts a damper on their whole mission, which is to embrace electronic vehicles and to basically get our world off of fossil fuels. So that's less likely an option. And the last option is to simply embrace the luxury market and scrap the pursuit of a cheaper electric vehicle. And certainly this would be an option for them. They could kind of follow in the footsteps of Porsche and Ferrari, as we mentioned earlier, and focus on fewer sales, but a higher profit margin on those sales by selling just luxury vehicles. And currently, Tesla makes the fastest accelerating production vehicle that's available. So certainly this could be an option for them. However, again, it does not fit in with their mission statement of wanting to, have the world come off the dependency of fossil fuels. So all of these options are not as good as the option of introducing a $25,000 vehicle.
About the recommendation plan, first we think they should the solution provided for Tesla will be based on the assumptions that the company will want to continue to manufacture electronic cars. So they can Tesla could indirectly promote their core mission of the accelerating sustainable energy by increasing the efficiency of our other vehicles, thereby reducing the use of the renewable energy. And in order to continue to reduce the manufacturing costs, that they can also given their attention to battery material supplies. Like in February 2019, Tesla acquired Maxwell for $280 million at a 55% premium. They can continue to do it. And because they think the United States is an important target market for Tesla, and also the European and China are also markets that they want to pursue. So in January 2020, they set up the Dart Knot super factory in Shanghai. So I think they can Tesla can increase production at the Shanghai plants this year and maintain capital investment and development. They also can set up a factory in Wuhan, Shanghai, in Wuhan, China, because like Wuhan is for the strategical local, and it is one of the major transportation hubs in the central China, with a very well-developed transportation and production industry. Meanwhile, it has the largest retail market for auto parts in China. So if they can build a factory there, they can save a lot of logistics cost and transportation time cost, which will increase the production's capacity and the profits. That's all for our presentation. Thank you very much.